Good morning, everyone. How are you? Hello. Welcome to another daily mindfulness practice while we are self-isolated in quarantine, wherever this may find you. I hope you are well. I hope if you are not well that you are finding some moments of groundedness and hopefully getting some sleep, and that you have people taking care of you. I realized that after a while I just stopped introducing myself. So I'm Caitlin. I'm the artistic managing director of Enso Theater Ensemble, and we are a nonprofit located in Portland, Oregon that teaches and creates theater with mindfulness. So that's kind of why I'm here. I just realized that I had sort of stopped introducing myself. So I just wanted to let you know who I am if you're joining us for the very first time. So this morning, what I thought I would do is I thought I would introduce a series of mindfulness practices that you can do for 1 minute. In some ways, time is our biggest luxury right now for many of us that are staying at home and unfortunately don't have work. However, even then, I have found that it can still be hard to get myself to do my mindfulness practice because of X, Y, Z, and the other thing, right? There's always a reason not to practice. So I just thought that I would put out a series of here's something you can do for 1 minute to just okay, if nothing else, I get 60 seconds to myself today. And you take that 60 seconds and then you go and deal with whatever you need to deal with today. So, I think the first mindfulness practice that I want to introduce is the one that I'm holding in my hand. And we've talked about this a little bit, but this is my morning cup of tea. I usually have one every morning. I really enjoy the warmth of it on my hands. And I've talked about using this as a sensory-based anchor. So this is a 1 minute practice that you can do literally while you're making your coffee or tea, and I'm assuming many of you do. If you don't drink tea or coffee in the morning, but let's say you drink a glass of water, you can do this. You can do it with anything. Literally do it with anything that has some temperature to it or some physical sensation to it. So what we're going to do is after you've poured your cup of tea, you're just going to grasp it in both hands in a way that's comfortable and comforting. And I invite you to close your eyes, and you're actually going to bring the mug to the center of your chest so that you can feel a little bit of the heat on your chest. And you're going to take a nice big deep breath in, and I'm actually going to time this and make sure it's exactly 1 minute. So here we go. Nice big deep breath in and release. And one more big deep breath in and release. A reminder that you are not your thoughts. They can exist and be there, but you don't have to grab onto them. You have choice. And then we're going to take a sip. And we're really going to pay attention to the sensation of the liquid in your mouth. Maybe turn up the corners of your mouth if you need that today. Back to center. Big deep breath in. Release. And that's it. And you're done. 1 minute. That was 1 minute and a few seconds. So it's two breaths with the mug. Bring it to center. A reminder that you are not your thoughts, or whatever your mantra is for today. Maybe your mantra is just breathe. Or maybe your mantra today is go outside. Remember to go outside, something like that. And then a sip, and then one last breath. So 2 breaths, mantra, sip, one last breath. Yeah? So 1 minute mindfulness with your tea. So there's that one. Another one that I wanted to introduce actually involves this funny looking thing. Although I guess it's not, I don't know if it's really funny looking, but anyway. This is called a, oh hi, I just got a note from Lauren. Hi, I miss you too. Hello. So this is a lovely board called a Sumi-e board, and it's a beautiful, it's a beautiful way to connect. And I'm going to show you how to create an Enso. So my theater company is called Enso Theater Ensemble, and the reason why we're called that is because the Enso is a symbol in Japanese calligraphy, and it is representative of a single moment in time. And specifically, one of my favorite definitions is that it represents a moment when the mind is free to let the body create. So I just thought that was perfect for our theater practice. But the Enso is also a meditative practice that lots and lots and lots of people do. And I thought I would show you first on my Sumi-e board, and then I'm literally going to just show you one, on a piece of paper. So I'll just show you how to paint one, because I'm assuming most of you don't have like a fancy Sumi-e board. So I'll just show you how you can paint one in the morning. Maybe you have like a morning painting practice. How cool would that be? So the beautiful thing about this though is that you only need water, no paint at all. So I'm just going to have that there for a hot second. And I'm going to take my paintbrush. No special paintbrush required. These are the two that I'm going to use. I'm first going to use this broad one, and then I'm going to use this itty bitty dinky one to make an Enso. So I have my board, and I'm going to, I would normally probably lie this flat. Let's see if I can do that so then you can see it. Yeah, so I'll put it on my hand. And then all I have is I have a little cup of water here, just a little itty bitty cup. I'm going to dip it in, not too much. Don't want to get too much water on there. Okay, so now my paintbrush is wet, and I'm going to hold it very specifically in my hand. So I'm going to hold it with my fingers on top and my thumb on bottom. And the reason for this is that it's just going to allow me a little bit more control as I create the circle, the Enso symbol. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So as we get started, we take a big deep breath in, and on the exhale is when we create the Enso. So the exhale is the duration of the entire Enso, and it represents that moment in time. So once you've done it, it's done. You don't mess with it. It's just it's a perfect, imperfect representation of you in that exhale, in that moment. So we'll go ahead and do one so you can see. Ready? Big inhale. Big exhale. And there's my Enso that I did. So I can already notice that my thoughts are like pointing out imperfections in it, but I'm just going to notice those and let those go, because this is the beautiful thing about this symbol, is it is what it is, and then you breathe and you let it go. So that's it. And then that would be my entire practice. I would do that exhale and then move on with my day. It's probably less than a minute. So that's on the Sumi-e board, and you'll see over time that's going to slowly start to disappear. So we can do more again and again and again. So now I'm going to show you how to create an Enso, but with paper and paint. So I have next to me this little guy, and I'm going to put some paint. This is just like acrylic paint. You could do this with watercolor. You could do this with literally any kind of paint. I'm just going to shake it up a little bit. Okay, and I'm just going to put, it really doesn't take a lot, so I'm just going to put like a tiny little dab in the center. Just a little bit. Hello, friend. Okay. And then just because, so you can do this with any color, a single color. I could certainly do it with that, but I like blending two colors together. It makes it look really beautiful. So I'm going to add a second blue to this teal that I currently have. Here I go. Oh, this blue's almost out. There we go. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, so now I have two different blues, just like that. And I'm gonna take this bad boy, just again, maybe not this one. Only just not that one because it's a little crusty. So I'm gonna take this guy, little itty bitty paintbrush, and my sheet. And I'm going to create, and let's see if I can do it this way again. And so this time, I'm going to fill up my entire paintbrush with paint. And unlike the water, just go crazy. Just put as much paintbrush on your paint as you want to, as you can. So you can see I've got like a big glob there. And then, on my paper, same thing, I'm going to hold the paintbrush like this with my fingers on top and my thumb at the bottom, and I'm going to take a deep breath in, and the exhale is going to be the duration of the Enso. So I inhale, and I exhale. So this one ran out of paint really quickly, but I'll show it to you. Here is my little itty bitty Enso that I made. You can see that I ran out of paint a little bit, but you know what? That's the beauty of the Enso, it is what it is. And it's definitely representative of me in this moment. So that's my little paint Enso. And I actually did this practice for a while. I did like an Enso-based mindfulness practice for an extended period of time. And I think it would be really fun if like you were like, I'm going to paint one Enso every day. And then you could start to fill up your whole page with Ensos. And then you'd have like a beautiful thing to hang on your wall and be like, hey, remember that time we were in quarantine, but we practiced mindfulness and we painted all these beautiful Ensos while we were in quarantine? I don't know. Yeah, so there's another 1 minute mindfulness practice. Okay, so next I'm going to use, okay, sorry, it said my internet was funky for a second. Okay, so for this 1 minute mindfulness practice, all you need is a candle, any candle. I recommend being in a seated position just because it can create a better sense of grounding. But you can stand, you can do whatever you like, whatever feels comfortable to you. And the way that we'll do this practice is we are going to light the candle, and then we're going to place the candle somewhere. Well, I'll place it somewhere where you can see it. I would place it like somewhere in front of you so that it's part of your focus. It's part of your anchor. And then I'll guide you through a 1 minute meditation that you can think about using a candle as like the symbolic reference point. And then we'll do that for 1 minute, 60 seconds, and then we'll let it go. Okay, ready? Okay, so first, I'll light it. And as I light the candle, I'm just going to think about anything that's arising for me right now, how I'm feeling right now. I just want to acknowledge it. If I'm feeling really stressed or anxious, we are We are evolved to ignore stress and anxiety or suppress it in some way. Instead, I'm just going to try to be with it. So I'm just aware of everything I'm feeling in my body, in my head right now, or if I'm feeling nothing. And I'm going to place the candle down. Start our 1 minute. I'm going to place one hand over my heart and one hand over my belly and take a deep breath in and release. And one more big deep breath in, noticing anything that arises, and release. And I'm going to think about something that I would like to hold on to today. Something that I'd like to remember in the course of my day today. Just one small, achievable thing. And then I'm going to take my candle. I'm going to breathe in that thing that I want to remember. And as I exhale and blow out the candle, I'm going to imagine the energy of that remembrance, the energy of that intention moving out with me into the world. And that's it. And then you go and make your breakfast and do your TikTok or whatever you're doing today. Yeah, so there's another 1 minute candle mindfulness session. Okay, I have one more 1 minute mindfulness practice. For those of you who are just joining, so far we did a 1 minute mindfulness practice with your tea or coffee in the morning. We did a 1 minute mindfulness practice creating an Enso, first on the Sumier board and then secondly with paint. And then we also just did a 1 minute mindfulness practice with a candle. And now we're going to do a 1 minute mindfulness practice where you don't need anything. And this is a really special practice for me that I love doing. It's called Tong Len, and I think that's all I'll say about it. I'll just invite you to join me on it. It's really, really simple. And for this, so I lied. I do like to use, there is one thing I like to use with this, but if you don't have a bell, you don't need a bell, honestly. You really don't. But if you want to use some sort of sound anchor, you can use any sound on your phone. You can use an alarm on your phone that sounds really nice that you love. You can use like a non-mindfulness bell. Any of that works. So for this 1 minute mindfulness practice, which again is called Tong Len, I am going to start us with the bell twice, and then I will finish. I'm so sorry. I've got that backwards. I'm going to start with the bell 3 times, and I'm going to end twice. And I will just guide you through it. So just sit yourself somewhere comfortable. I recommend, if you can, sitting on a cushion because it'll allow you to sit longer if you have something underneath your knees. I have like a meditation cushion, but for a long time I meditated or practiced mindfulness with a pillow. Literally take a pillow, fold it in half, stick it on your butt. Good to go. So yeah. See, yeah, sit, cushion. Good, let's do this thing. Okay. 3 bells to start. invite you to close your eyes or gently cast them down. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Bring someone to mind, someone that you know, who as of this moment is suffering. They can be suffering in any capacity, mental, physical. It can be a small suffering by some standards. It could be a large suffering. It could be yourself. Bring that person into your mind very clearly. As you inhale, imagine that you are taking on their suffering into your body. Imagine their suffering like a black, gray smoke. That as you inhale, you take it into your heart center where there's a candle, and as it comes in towards the candle, it's going to extinguish the candle, and you're going to exhale. And in that exhale, the exhale is going to transfer that smoke to a pure white light that then is going to radiate out from you back to them. And slowly you're going to replace their suffering with your pure, energetic, beautiful, healing light. And if that's too wonky for you, if that's too like woo-woo, just imagine someone that you know that's suffering and think about inhaling their suffering and exhaling peace and love. Inhaling their suffering, imagining what it would be like to be them, and exhaling peace and love. Really simple. So here we go. Big inhale in. Imagining what it would be like to be in their shoes. Exhaling peace and love. Inhaling in, imagining what it would be like to be them. Exhaling peace and love. One more. Inhaling, imagining what it would be like to be them. Exhaling goodness, healing, light. Let me finish with 2 bells. And that's it. So that's Tong Len. There is a longer, more complicated version of it, but in its simplest form, it's thinking about someone else and the way that they are not doing well, and bringing that into you, transforming that into goodness, and sending it back out into the world. That's it. Really simple. Oh, the camera's going to move for a second because of my cat Bean. Hello, Bean. She loves to make some cinematographic choices with our live videos. So thank you so much for watching. Please make any comments if you have any questions about these 1-minute practices. Again, the 1-minute practices we did today, we did a 1-minute practice with your tea or coffee mug. We did a 1-minute practice with creating an Enso. We created one on the Sumier board, which you can now see is almost completely gone. We also created an Enso with paint that you can do at home. We also did a 1-minute practice with a candle, and then we did a 1-minute Tong Len mindfulness practice. So I hope that was enjoyable to you. I hope some part of it was powerful, something that you can take with you into the rest of your day today. And I wish you all the best. See you tomorrow.